Hello slimy fertlers, and here we go with Gasland's Mad Max whatever custom. And you might ask, what the fuck is this? Well, this is a Hot Wheels popper wheelie, and to be honest, in this form it's fucking horrible. It looks horrible, gimmicky as shit. However, the little red thing at the front, which forms the car, which you can't see, it doesn't matter. Oh, look at that blurring. It actually says Popper Wheelie on the side as well. The little van that's on here is actually a Reliant, was it Reliant Mark II Super Van? I think it's a Reliant Regal. That's it, Reliant Regal Mark II Super Van or something like that they call it. And I think that for Gaslands, I'm going to turn this into a buggy, but I'm also going to put it back as being three wheels so that it's actually back like this, how it should be, instead of this stupid... I ain't got a clue what they were thinking when they did this, but it's just gimmicky as hell. But we'll have it back like this and we'll get it suitably wastelanded up. I know nothing about when they first made it or anything like that. I mean, the info on the bottom just gives a load of thingy codes. It says copyright 2013 Mattel, some numbers, some letters, and then it says made in Malaysia, and then there's a little Hot Wheels logo on there and a little Hot Wheels logo on the chrome bit on the front of the Reliant. So I'm looking at this and I can see that basically we've got two rivets, a plastic rivet and a metal rivet. So the metal rivet will, the plastic rivet will come off easy, metal rivet will not, and then that takes, this is the base. So it's a metal base, so that'll lift off, and then I think there's another rivet or something in this hole here, which is probably going to be a right pain in the arse to get out, but it will be done. And then the plastic bit can come out and take this windscreen out. There's a very nice little single seat in there, but it's going, like I say, it's going to be three wheel. I'm going to make sure the wheels roll on it when it's back in three wheel, although I might end up having to make a base for it to sit on. I don't like making bases for cars. I like them to have all the wheels roll. Yeah, I'm one of those kind of custom people. I like all the wheels to roll and everything like that, so it looks good when you blah 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 blah. Mind you, like a famous story I heard once of somebody who fitted a Reliant Robin with a fairly powerful engine. Somebody in a some chav or whatever ricer, pulls up next to it at the traffic lights and decides to try and challenge him to a drag race, and fortunately the engine that was in the Reliant was about 5 times as powerful as what his was, and the Reliant disappeared off into the distance, while the guy in the Golf or whatever was still stuck in first gear. Probably an urban myth, but it's still a funny story. So yeah, people who live in Britain know that the Reliants, the little three-wheel cars that Reliant made, have a particular place in British humour and British culture. The main vehicle that that Del Boy Trotter drives is a yellow super van of the same model of this. One also appeared in Mr. Bean as basically a kind of enemy for him when he was out driving his little Mini. So yeah, enough talking. I'm going to drill these out, and I'm going to drill these off camera. I don't actually have a proper desk vise that I can use to drill these, so I'm going to have to improvise a vise somewhere, and that's not something you want to see on camera. But I actually got told off by Rob at Matchbox Garage for doing the holding it like this thing and drilling it, which is dangerous. Like I said, you shouldn't do it. I do it because I'm expert. But yeah, he actually told me off for doing that. But it's probably a thingy because I'm probably going to have to get busy with a saw, so there might be some more extremely dangerous content. You can place your bets now whether I injure myself or not, although bear in mind IID's expert, so I'm probably not going to injure myself. Anyways, let's get these rivets popped, and I'll come back to you with when it's stripped down so we can see what we're working with.
12 seconds later.
There we go, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Turns out that the thing that I thought was a metal rivet was actually a plastic rivet. The metal rivet that was there was actually a plastic rivet that just came off in no time. The plastic rivet that was there, I hardly had to touch it. Didn't really need a vise at all. I could have done that just with . I could have done that with just a grinding tool or something. But yeah, we've now opened her up. We've got the body, which is plastic, which is both a good and a bad thing for various reasons. Don't need to make any kind of changes here. This is the internal, which has the sort of seat cockpit thing here, and this here, what I thought was another little rivet, wasn't it? It's just the sort of tube thing that makes up the steering wheel, which is a little bit weird, but you know, never mind. So yeah, we've got the body thing, and then we've got this lovely engine at the back here, which I'm going to make use of in some fashion. Yellow windscreen, well, yellowy orange windscreen. Yeah, not much I can do with that. And then the main chassis, which I noticed if I just turn it around and do that, I've got like a little buggy thing there, but I don't want 4 wheels. This isn't a Reliant Fox, it's a Reliant Regal Supervan, so it needs to have 3 wheels. Now the third wheel is, well, there is an ersatz third wheel just moulded into plastic here that doesn't turn. So my thinking is that yes, I'm going to use this chassis and I'm going to sort of put it in that configuration, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip off the front part of it, basically saw it off, take off the axle, and basically put these 2 wheels together, you know, sort of facing each other, so that these bits are out here, and then mount it in the middle. I'm going to cut a hole in this, get rid of this pretend wheel, and put the actual, you know, new sort of single stroke double wheel through the hole, make an axle pin and everything like that. Then I can use this to fit back in there, sort of thing. If it'll go in, why is it not going in? There we are. So I can use this to fit back in, and then jury rig away of getting this. I mean, the chassis fits on perfectly when you do it that way around, but then I can make it so it's like this. So it's got the 2 wheels at the back and the single wheel at the front, and then the engine, which, like I say, I'm going to make use of. I am 50-50 between cutting a hole in the bonnet and having the engine poking through, or leaving it in the back, which I'm probably going to do. Leave it in the back and make it so that you can see the engine in the back. Maybe put a bit of plastic, maybe put a bit of plastic card around it or something like that. So basically, you'd have the engine still mounted in the back, kind of how it is in, you know, when you put it in back in the normal configuration. Where I want it to be flat, lay flat down instead of at this stupid angle like what's here. The windscreen will just go back in as normal. There's no need to even worry about that. Yeah. So that's the plan. I wonder if the plan is actually going to come off properly, or whether I'm just going to, you know, fuck this up. I'd like to think positive, and that I'm going to do the plan as I've planned it and not fuck it up. So no need to strip anything because there's no metal paint here. I can just undercoat over the top. I could strip the chrome off this, but I'm not going to. I think I'll just spray over the top of it once I've sprayed out, given it a primer and then a base coat. The chrome stops showing through, and then I'll, you know, obviously put some lacquer over the top of it to seal it all in. I'm going to make some weapons for it, but yeah, shall we crack on then?
Eventually.
Oh, right then, so got me knot Dremel, and you see we've got a cutting disc on it there, my favourite tool. I don't know why, I just really love the cutting discs. First cut I'm going to make is I'm going to cut across the back end, as you can see. I'm going to cut across behind the driver's seat in the cockpit. You probably can't see because it's all shiny chrome and that kind of reflects the light. I'm only working in natural light here. I don't have money to buy fancy lamps and reflective backdrops and whatnot. Fuck it, I'm just going old school, mate. So yeah, ooh, shiny. Yeah, so I'm going to cut here, basically a line here, and on the other side as well to take this bit off, which has the engine on it. I'll also need to make some cuts to rescue the engine out. But the first thing I want to do is, you know, get the main cockpit assortment, main cockpit bit sorted out, so that I can fit it in basically up to there, and then we've got this nice back section here for me to put the rear axle in once I've sorted that out. It does have a nice little clip on the front there, you see, which is like the Reliant little radiator, so we can fit it in there, drop a glue and it'll stay in place. Right, let's get cutting. There we are, nice quick one. As you can see, the cutting disc does awful things to plastic, like melts it, but nothing that a bit of work with a file and a scalpel won't get rid of. So yeah, there we go. The front end's nicely there. So fit it in, it does that.
Start up. Time out.
And there we go. So yeah, there we go. An engine ready to go in the back when I construct the back. So far we're not doing too bad. Nice thing there. Engine, stick it in there somehow, or I'll stick it in there somehow. So all I've got to do now really is get this rear axle in here somehow, which shouldn't be too hard, and then cut this piece off so that I can attach these two together, cut a hole out here for the wheels, and job's a good one. I'm happy so far. I'm really happy so far. Everything's coming together very nicely, and I've probably just jinxed it. Oh well, let's crack on a little bit more.
1 hour later.
Fuck that, plan B. I'm going to build my own chassis. There's a little tiny nick in there which represents about, I don't know, maybe an hour's worth of trying to cut it out with the cutting disc. I've actually bust 2 cutting discs. This is now my 3rd. I've just put this one on. I'm not willing to keep wasting fucking cutting discs on this. I just cannot get it. For a cut like that, I think I need something with a bit more fucking power to it. My tiny little desk vise didn't help much either. That actually made me bust the fucking discs, to be honest. So, plan B, I will build my own chassis. Not hard, you would have thought. Yeah. I am now disappointed, so I'm going to go away and have a think about how I'm going to build this chassis, and then I'll come back to you, and hopefully I'll have some much better results than what I have at the minute. Fucking thing. Ha ha ha! Gotcha. Yep, I constructed a chassis for it. Well, chassis for the rear, which you can just pop the top off, you know, 'cause it's only held on by the little grill clip at the thing. But yeah, I create chassis out of matchsticks and coffee stirrers. The idea is that, I mean, at the moment it's way too low down in front, so I'm going to raise the front a little bit so that the front lights are actually pointing forwards and not on the ground. But yeah, if I just hold it up to the thing there, look, the wheels still roll and everything. I'm back on track, and I'm happy with that. I'm fucking happy with that, I'll tell you.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Hey, look at that! Hey, nice, isn't it? Yeah, so I finally managed to get the thing solved. Come back, so I haven't painted it yet. But the inner chassis, I've put the engine on, and I actually managed to find a use for the bit I was going to chuck away. The thing that I thought was a fuel tank. Makes an excellent rear bumper. Which hides the kind of bits of matchwood that I've used to build up the rear chassis. Front wheel is, like I said, the 2 original front wheels glued together to make one kind of double off-road wheel, and then I just put a little, little front fork sort of thing to get it there. And that's the body and the internal done, basically, unless I decide to put any more detail on them. Yeah. This is the main body, the good old plastic pig body, which is ironic because it's still made out of plastic. What I've done here is I started on making a rear for it, just a couple of bits of plastic hard cut so that it can fit together and everything. Then I've put these mounting points for the weapons on. I already know what weapons I'm going to make, but I've got to make them yet. I'm going to arm it with 2 miniguns, so it's going to basically be a... well, I was looking at the Gaslands rulebook, and I could use this vehicle as a trike, basically a trike motorbike, which would be more in line with what the Reliant vehicles were, because they were actually, because of their small engines and everything, they're actually classed as motorbikes. So you could own a, Reliant Robin or a Reliant Regal or a Rialto, and just with a motorbike license, you didn't need to have a proper car license. So you could class it as a trike. I think I'm going to still keep it as a buggy though, because a trike only has 4 hull points, which means I'm going to be paying a fair amount of points because I'm going to give it twin miniguns. Pay a fair amount of points. I want to get some bang for my buck, sort of thing. I don't want it to, basically, a burst from a minigun can destroy it in one go. So that's the thing. The top fits on just nicely. At the minute, it's only held in place with the the tab at the front, and you can see it falls out a lot because that's not meant to be a locking tab, that's just meant to keep it in place. Obviously I can't put a rivet, well, there's no rivet for the back anymore, so what I'm going to have to do when I put it together is come up with some way of holding it together, you know, basically putting it together and locking it together that can be you know, easily done with what's left of the body shape. Like I say, I'm also going to make a window section here so that once I've finished painting it you can see the engine and that. So yeah, not doing too bad so far, apart from the setback where I can't use the chassis that I wanted, but then again that was just a big ass hunk of metal that, considering the rest of the car's plastic, I think that's what they used to give it some weight. I mean, this is really lightweight. It's like I say now, it's just plastic, wood, and the only metal bits on it really are the axles that hold the wheels on. There's no metal in this whatsoever. It's yeah, but I'll have to see if I can find a way of giving it a little bit of weight, because when you get a little bit of weight into, you know, little plastic cars like this, it does actually make them a little bit more durable and less prone to breaking. Weird as it might sound, but it does. So yeah, I'm going to finish off making the bits that I need, and this is a buggy, it gets a free roll cage, so I'll have to make a roll cage as well. Finish off that and then we can get to the painting part.
Several days later.
So here we are. This is my workstation thingamajig that I can, you know, put away when I don't need it. We're making miniguns because I'm giving this twin miniguns, you know, 8 dice per firing. You know, that's enough to shred, you know, your standard vehicle in one turn if you get really lucky. Because basically, if you roll a 6 on all your dice, you're doing 16 damage. So, you know, get a couple of 6s in there with 8 dice to roll, guaranteed at least 1 or 2 maybe. But yeah, this is how I make miniguns. You know, like I say, I do like to make as much stuff as I can. You know, I don't like to spend money where I don't need to. And I make it, because I make 2 miniguns, do it like this. It's just basically I use a paper clip for the centre, and then use paper clips to make the barrels and just glue them round in a hexagonal formation. Once that's dry, I then clip them off. And then using my little pin vise thing, I can then drill holes into these wings that I've made for mounting the. I'm probably going to have to beef them up a little bit more, considering the size of the, barrels. So yeah, drill a hole, stick it in with a bit of super glue, let it dry. Job's a good one. I'm also going to put some, it's just sheet metal off a can of Innis non-alcohol-free pale ale, which, you know. I've already folded a piece there, so I'm going to cut that out. Just cut it out with a pair of scissors, and then wrap it around the base of the barrel. Well, the base of the barrel. This is the bit that's going to be at the, you know, we'll call it the not business end, and then a little bit further down, make a barrel band. You know, for the, you know, towards the business end. You probably can't see, but I've made a minigun turret for another vehicle I'm working on at the moment, and I've just basically done the same thing, so I've used bigger paper clips of this. This one's more like a, you know, sort of 10-20mm, well no, it'd be a 20mm minigun or Gatling gun or whatever you want to call it, whereas these are small paper clips, so we're probably talking, you know, like a 7.62, something like that. To get the nomenclature right, a minigun is the 7.62 version. Anything bigger is usually called a cannon or something like that, you know, an auto cannon, automatic, rotary cannon, that's the one, and the smaller one, like I say, is the minigun. I think they did develop a 5.56 version called the microgun at one point, but I don't think it got used, because what was the point of a 5.56 version? You know, you can get the same amount of fire from, you know, just a normal machine gun. But anyways, that's just making miniguns. Just thought I'll pop this one in here, and we'll get right back to finishing construction and the paint job. Build done. Yeah, there it is. That's in its built glory. Twin miniguns on the top, and I put some tusks on the front because it's no longer a plastic pig, it's a boar, so it needs some tusks. Righty then, we've got the body and chassis undercoated in black. I didn't want to undercoat it in black, but I don't have any grey, and I didn't want to use white, So yeah, we'll just have to soldier on. I've already put a bit of silver paint on the engine and that, just to mark it out and everything, but I haven't decided what colour I'm going to do the body yet, which is probably really stupid, being as I'm just about to start painting it. We'll just have to soldier on and see where the creative juices take us. Yeah, let's just get on with it, and we'll come back with some hyper time when I'm doing some painting on it or something. I don't know. Maybe. Right, no hyper time, no painting. I'm just going to show you because this video's gone on far too long. I kind of had a bit of a blip where I lost interest in doing stuff for a few days because I didn't feel too good. So this video has taken me a lot longer than it normally would to do that. But anyways, let's do the reveal. There we go. And I've decided to call it the Badass British Boar. I was a bit stuck on what to paint it. I was just going to paint it royal blue, but then I just thought, nah, stick a Union Jack on it, be right. Yeah, got the tusks, little tusks in silver, wheel hubs in blue. I'll put some more close-up, more detailed pictures in, but I use what they call it around the back to basically clamp it together and provide like a little wheelie bar sort of thing, so it can do wheelies still, but it won't flip over backwards. It's going to be fun to play in game, this one, because if you know the rules for trikes or bike with sidecar, fit this with twin miniguns, there's going to be a lot of BRAP related action going off. So yes, so thank you for bearing with me if you've made it all the way to the end of this video. You know, I'm sorry this video has gone on so long and this took so long because, I don't know, you know, you have personal things happen and shit goes off and you're not interested in that shit. Yeah, so if you want to contribute or anything to my funds for doing stuff like this, you know, buying paints, buying cars, whatever, stick my thingy card at the end with, you know, my PayPal link. If you want to click, it'll also be down there. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but you know, any money that I get through there is welcome and received with thanks, and I'll put it to good use. So yeah, that's been the Popper Wheelie, somebody's banging me on Facebook. Ugh. Yeah, the Popper Wheelie, Hot Wheels Popper Wheelie conversion into the Badass British Boar. There we go. Thank you for watching. See you next time.